with Mama Bear Blue. We are live from Mondays with Mom, and I'm here with Mom,
Debbie.
So thank you for joining us, guys. As you are hopping on here, be sure to give us a thumbs up and share the video out. That really helps us, and we appreciate it. But all right, well, we have a couple projects we're working on today. I'm excited about. Whenever I go thrifting or looking at antique malls and things, I'm always looking for. It sounds like it's okay.
We're good.
I'm always on the lookout for these cute little vintage like cases, like train cases, old luggage. Mom's got this one that's a really fun size. It's kind of like a small carry-on, really, really small suitcase. So we are going to use some DIY paint, Iron Orchid Designs transfers, and we're also going to be using some decoupage with some old Simplicity sewing patterns that I found when we were at an antique mall in Washington State, in Tacoma.
Yeah.
And I run across these a lot when I'm out and about looking even at my own antique mall where my booth is. Aren't those cool? Look at those guys. And these ladies, and then,
Sorry.
That's all right. And some cute little kid ones. This is really old, this one. But these are all like Simplicity patterns that come in the packs, and we're going to decoupage these onto this case, and I think it's a really cute idea. You could use that as a sewing kit afterwards, or just to store your art supplies. But I've been already tearing out pieces from these patterns, and I think I'm going to be painting this in the DIY paint Sandy Blonde, and then decoupaging on just different pieces from the outside of the package, but also I opened up the actual patterns and was able to find a few that looked cool to use like as fill-in spots with the Simplicity, and so we'll see how that goes, but I think that's going to turn out really cute. So I'm going to tear out just a couple more while Mom gets started on hers. She is painting that in faded burlap, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then on hers, when that's dry, probably going to take 2 coats because we're covering blue, but with DIY paint, clay-based paint, it covers any surface, so that's going to be just fine on there. And then we're going to use the transfer called Collage de Fleurs, and so it's got lots of big roses on it.
It's really pretty.
It's very pretty. We've never used this one before. It's also got some vines and leaves and little purple flowers, so we're going to make a little collage of flowers on, on that suitcase. All right, let me pull off get a few more pieces of this paper to use to decoupage onto the trunk. This one is a 1967 pattern. And I know for sure there's a booth at Southport Antique Mall where my booth is that sells these little patterns, and I'm probably going to have to stop in there because I don't think I have quite enough to cover the whole case like I would want to. So then I'm going to get started painting as well. Get a couple more of these torn out. So just like always, I prefer to have like a ripped edge on my decoupage projects. The pieces of paper have a ripped edge. They tend to lay down better when those paper fibers are torn on the edges, and we're going to be using DIY Liquid Patina as our decoupage medium. It's one of my favorites. And we also use it as a sealer sometimes. It's because it has a matte finish, so it makes a nice sealer on your furniture projects if you're not going to wax it. I hope you all had a nice weekend. We did. We got more snow coming in, though. A couple more rounds of snow and ice. Good morning, Karen. How are you doing? Okay. Making sure our picture's okay. We're just a little bit crooked, but I think they can still see all the project. So I think I've got enough for a good start torn out on these Simplicity patterns. And I'm even going to use the little pieces of text that say like Junior Petites and the Simplicity logo. a lot of them have a lot of just extra text like that, but the font's kind of cool because it's old. The smaller ones like this. So whenever I do see it, I snatch it up because it's becoming more rare. All right, sandy blonde is a really nice color. It's kind of a true tan. Nice warm color. It's not too much different than the color that this already is, but I thought it would be a nice background for ladies. So I've already opened this one just to give it a little bit of a stir. It usually doesn't need much. But sometimes if the can has sat there a while, there's a little bit of settling. And the big news this week is the IOD release. The spring release. It's coming. Thursday.
Will this come off of the metal?
Yeah, it'll wipe off. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the clay-based paint, especially before it's sealed, it can wipe off really easily because it reactivates with water. And I'm not worried about getting, so I'm going to go ahead and shut my latches so that, well, let me tell you real quick about the inside of this one. So I got this at a flea market in San Diego when I was out there for a DIY workshop at Debbie's. And it was already kind of, the inside was painted, so it was really, there was nothing to do in there except it didn't smell great. So I gave it a good wipe down, and then I put a coat of the Zinsser shellac in the spray can outside. I always use that stuff outside. Did it outside, let it sit outside for a while, and it's helped a bunch. I think I'm gonna, it just smells old, musty. That one wasn't bad at all. Some other ways, if you guys get vintage luggage and it has that old smell, try vinegar. And then you can also, I read that you can put baking soda in it and then like sweep it out. Hey Rod. Let the baking soda sit in there a day, vacuum it out, do it again, and do that a few times. And then if that doesn't work, you can also use unscented cat litter. I read. You can kind of, yeah, and then put it in, dump it out, put it in again if you need to. And then your last resort, which I kind of went straight to last resort because we needed to get on it, do this today, is to spray the shellac in there. And it was, most of the surfaces were already painted on, so that was easy. But if this doesn't get, if I don't sell this, because I'm tempted not to, I might use it to store my sewing stuff in or just my art supplies. I think like if this was all my travel watercolor stuff, that would be cool. So anyway, I'm going to shut this and put the latches down so that I can not miss those little spots that it's hiding. I forgot you got to pull the little latch, the little knob sideways to get it in.
I think that one's older than this.
It is. Yeah, this is more like 70s, don't you think? This seems much older. Plus, if I decoupage, I might have it overlap some of the metal that's on there. And DIY paint dries really fast. So that's nice about applying your second coat. When you do apply the second coat, you just want to be a little bit careful to not be heavy-handed with your brush because you'll pull up your paint. And I'm not going to worry much about the inside of that one right now, but I might, it has, we'll show them in a minute when it's dry, Mom, if we can remember. Okay. It has that plasticky liner. And I thought maybe we'd just pull it out, but it depends on the condition of the wood underneath. I always like to see the metal, but that's just me. Hi, Laura. So Karen, you suggest maybe leaving the metal shown after you paint it? We probably will do that on there. I think it'll look pretty with the metal showing. Yeah. It might need, it's definitely going to need 2 coats in it.
Definitely.
If you get that done and then go to the top.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell. That's the top, right?
This is what?
Or is it the bottom? It doesn't matter because both sides of the suitcase are going to get transfers on it. The Collage de Fleurs, if you're just joining us, is the one transfer we're going to put on Mom's. So maybe we'll look for some more vintage train cases. They call them train cases.
Right.
Because everyone took the trains, I guess.
Which is an interesting thing.
Speaking of train trips, Mom took a train trip last year with my dad and sister and uncle, because my uncle didn't fly and we needed to get to San Antonio. I didn't take the train.
They flew.
We flew. But was it Amtrak?
Yeah.
So
it was very interesting.
All the way from St. Louis, they had to drive to St. Louis from Indianapolis and then get on the train all the way down to San Antonio. 24-hour trip. And they only stayed.
27.
They only stayed a few days in San Antonio, a couple nights, and then they were on the train again for the one-day trip.
But if you get a your own
Sleeper car,
yeah.
You guys just did like coach.
Yeah, we did. And the sleeper cars are supposed to. It's a lot nicer.
I'm gonna put this around this side of the can so that it won't, hopefully, not touch your suitcase.
Okay.
Karen said my mom had one of those cases when I was young. Never knew it was called a train case until about a year ago. Yeah. Yep. I had a tiny one when I had a blue one, I feel like, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? And I think I kept Barbie clothes and Barbie shoes in it.
Well, it was very handy.
It was. Do you still have it?
Probably. I can look for it for you.
I bet you don't have that.
I don't know.
I do have my Barbie cases.
You do?
My actual Barbie. Yeah, they do stink.
But they probably, well, if you could make them not stink, you could sell them.
My niece came last summer, and we don't have a lot of toys around here anymore, and I had all boys, so we definitely don't have toys that Nora
would like.
Not much. So I got my old Barbies out. Nora went over to them. She was like, "Mom, they stink." They did. They don't smell great. They smell musty.
Yeah.
So she didn't play with my Barbies.
She didn't like them.
I don't know that I'm going to do, because the color of this case was already so close to sandy blonde, I don't think I'm going to, I've covered up the little scrapes and somebody had written something on the front. That's all covered, so I might just stick with one coat and get on with the fun part.
Is that why you gave me blue?
Yep. No, I'm kidding.
I'm teasing too.
If you finish the top of that one and then dry it, well, you know what? Just be real careful when you're drying it. I don't want to melt the vinyl. Like, just be high with the gun.
Okay.
And then we'll get a second coat on this part.
So we can at least do
we
that.
can at least get some transfers going on it.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's think about how we want this to look. I'm going to start on the top, I think, with some of this decoupage. I'll put this over here. You're going to need it. All right, so we have our DIY Liquid Patina that we are going to use to decoupage with, and let's see what I can do here with some of these. I do want to get the ones with the men. We got to have that one with the 70s guys. Yeah. Get them out to do next. These late 60s guys. So yeah, I see these quite a bit when I'm out and about doing at my booth, and once a month I try to walk around Southport Antique Mall just to see what's there. I'm going to throw these on the floor till I can clean up later. I might actually cut this one lady out and put her on the other side. But you can decoupage just about anything, and some of this is more of a newsprint type, and then this is more like a magazine page, but it should do just fine for decoupage. And I'm going to be overlapping some things, and I definitely don't have enough to cover the whole case at this point. That's why we're going to be on the lookout today for more.
Yeah.
What?
We're going
Yes, we are.
searching for treasures.
We are. We are going to a different antique mall today that Mom says you haven't been to it, right?
I don't think so.
It's called Midland, and it's in downtown Indy, in the Fountain Square area. If you guys are local, but I've only been there once, and then I wanted to take Mom back. All right.
Something's just waiting for us.
I think it's a really good idea. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that patina on there where this is going to lay down. All right, I don't want too much time to pass. This dries pretty quick, so you don't want to mess around once you get that down. Again, as I usually say, not a super thin amount, but not super thick. Too much patina, and it's going to be really have a lot of bubbles. And not enough, and it's not going to stick down on all the spots. So I have it on there. This is going on nice. I don't even see any wrinkles. But if I do, I usually work from the center out and push out any wrinkles or bubbles that might be happening, but this is not doing that. Brush to work under the sides just to make sure it's all laying down. I think I will work in some of these that are just from the actual pattern pages that are just drawings. Karen said, Mom sewed almost all of my clothes as a teen. I think a lot of moms did that, honestly. I feel like it was much more common to do that than it is today. I'm even going to leave some of the numbers, and there's a little title on here that says Simplicity Primer. I think that'll be cute to put on somewhere. How's it coming over there?
I think
Yeah,
it's good.
that looks good. I really do love faded burlap.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
one of my
neutral.
favorites.
Yeah.
That and the orange.
Yeah, Summer Crush. That's always been one of your favorites, right?
Yep. Well, really, I like a lot of the colors.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get this one on there. This one's more like newsprint. And you can overlap them. You can decoupage onto each other. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get one coat over all of these to seal them down. Newsprint wrinkles up a little sooner than the magazine paper, but that's okay. Because you know the rule. After 24 hours,
It'll lay down.
So don't panic if you start seeing wrinkles. I've seen other ideas for the old simplicity patterns. People used them to cover the front of journals.
Oh,
Make some
yeah.
little journals, yeah. Just about anything can be decoupage paper.
It's true.
I'm a sucker for pretty papers, and sometimes I don't use them and I just look at them. But we were in Norway last summer. That's that roll of papers over there. I don't know if you
wondered
saw
what
them.
that was.
Yeah, some really pretty paper. I thought I'll have a use for this someday. And I actually there's a couple pieces in there that would look good as like the liner of the bottom of one of these. So if we end up doing that, I'll be sure to take pictures. And I'm going to go ahead and start a spot up here to get another piece on. I might use the title here. the word simplicity. Like that. I'll give you guys a close-up here in a second. Here they are. Okay, so there's those gentlemen in their fancy suits. Let's get that. Somebody cut pieces up. Somebody made something. Somebody made a nice leisure suit. This is a pattern for teen boys, it says.
Goodness.
My nephews would probably love wearing. Seriously, they would seriously
they would
love
it. Yeah.
wearing outfits like this.
Right.
They'd think it was the coolest thing ever. From Hancock Fabrics. Do you remember that place?
No.
I remember hearing about that, but I don't know if we have any locally. Because I bought these out in Washington State. I don't know.
I don't remember.
You don't remember Hancock Fabrics?
No.
I feel like it was around here.
There used to be a big fabric store in Franklin.
Yeah. If you are local, I have a couple classes coming up. I have a couple weeks ago, Mom and I used the aluminum cans and the IOD molds, and we made really pretty little planters. So that class is coming up on the 28th at Farm Girl. If you are interested and local, give me a message and we can get you prepaid and signed up for that class. It's at 10 a.m. on the 28th at Farm Girl. And then also Eric, my son, still does the candles, and he's having a candle class on Thursday night, March 13th. Thursday night, March 13th at Farm Girl at 6. So if you're interested in that, both of them, they're $39 each class. The candle class is always fun. Mom's done that,
Yeah,
Mom and Dad, because you create your own scent blend, and he shows you how to make it. All right, let's get this going here. So I'll show you guys, I don't know if you can see this, but so this is the opening, like the line, the opening to where the lid opens. I'm going to actually put this across it, and then we're going to use scissors to carefully cut that so that it doesn't rip or anything when we try to open it. We'll just separate that.
Don't forget about your exacto knot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll use that. I might have you grab it. It's in a little black case up there when you're done drying that. Mom got me a nice X-Acto knife set. It's been handy. Oh, thanks, Christina. Okay, so it's still still a little opaque, but it will dry clear, the DIY Liquid Patina. And we have a ways to go to get this covered, but we have lots of fun.
You don't need to dry it.
I think we'll let it dry naturally. I don't want to rush it too much, but so we're going to continue with this and get all the sides fairly filled up, and I think it's going to make a neat little case for art supplies or a sewing kit. Good morning, Wendy. I'll go ahead and get these gentlemen on, and we'll move on to getting that.
The only
with
thing that has 2 coats is this.
Yeah, it's fine. Just
I haven't done that.
keep it a little bit high. You can turn it on high if you want, Mom. I think you're on low. It sounded like it. There you go. I don't think that's too loud. because your microphone is always way less than mine. So I'm going to grab that X-Acto knife set, Mom, because I think that'll be easier to cut this across the opening here.
Well, maybe.
No, be careful.
Is that it?
Mom's vertically challenged.
Yes, I am. Oh, here we go.
All right. Just make sure if you're going over seams that you kind of use your fingernail, run it along there so that it is really adhering everywhere that it should. Yeah, I love this little set. Maybe I'll put my affiliate link on the comments in case people want to check. I imagine you got it on Amazon.
Yeah, I did.
And I probably, you can wait till it dries if you want to wait. Maybe I will wait, but I will show them. It's a nice little kit. It's got like the 3 different kind of handles and lots of different blade sizes. And it's magnetic in here, so you can't lose them. Like the blades stick right to it. Good job, Mom.
Thanks.
Find them that. So I'll wait. When it's dry, I'll go back in and get that one cut. But I think it's all sealed up, so I'm going to show you guys on that. So we're just getting started. We've got a ways to go.
It's cute.
Yeah, you could, last week when we were making the, yeah, I am busy, Wendy, but it's helping, finally deciding to hire on some help. So, yeah, what was I saying again about these? I was getting ready to say something.
What we did before.
Oh, yeah. So when what did we do before?
You stamped on the
Yes,
thing.
yes, that was what I was going to say. You could, if you wanted just a little bit of extra, like something to fill in the spots, you could go in with a stamp. Like, I think it'd be cute if you used like the ephemeral text or ephemeral type where there's different types of just words.
Yeah.
You could do that first and then decoupage over it with these so that, in between you've got some filler filling in that spot. Or you can just keep overlapping these until it's filled or not fill at all. It's really up to you, however you want to do it. So, okay, I'm excited to try at least one. Okay, Mom's making
I
me do
don't
this.
mind painting the rest of it later, but
I'm going to switch this with you just so it can sit in front of you.
Okay.
And we don't really need to do anything with that. We'll get the handle taken care of later. We can maybe even, I don't know, we'll figure out. We'll either paint the handle or we could decoupage something on it or we could put transfers on it. So many options. Okay, so this is the Collage de Fleurs, and
that's heavy.
it is heavy, heavy duty. Things were well made back in the day.
Probably made in America.
Yeah, they probably were. Most of that stuff. Things just don't last anymore. All right, these are beautiful. Really, just pretty, big, pretty flowers. So Mom's dried this. I think it's good. We're going to pick out a couple and at least get a start for you guys on this. Oh wow,
Those are
aren't they pretty? I don't know why I haven't used this transfer yet. Because we're busy. We got a lot going on.
Yeah,
Let's
you
use
also,
this. These are okay. I'm using one of these.
it was waiting for you to put it on a suitcase.
Ooh, those are pretty too. Okay. This suitcase is not going to be big enough for all the flowers we need to use on it. Look, I think I'm going to use one of those too. What do they call these? Like cabbage roses? Do you know?
That could
Something
be.
like that.
I'm not sure.
So this one, the Collage de Fleurs, I believe comes with 8 pages. This is on my website as well. Just want to rip the page out. It's getting a little stubborn.
I'll hold on to this.
Got it?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like tape. What is happening? This is usually not that.
Here.
I think it's because it's like there you go.
First
Got it.
one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. They need a bigger table and extra arms. Okay. Let's just sitting up. I think, yeah, let's get this one on there. I need those, Amy. Beautiful transfers. I know. These are just gorgeous. We have a nice neutral background, the faded burlap, to really make these pop. Collage de Fleurs is the name of it. Just going to cut that one out. And if you have more time to wait to let it dry on its own, you know, that's always a good idea. Not us.
I would just be afraid to scrape it. That's why I'm letting you
Well,
do it.
so I will say that if you are doing this on fresh paint like we are, even though we've dried it, you just need to have a lighter hand with the rubbing stick. Like, don't go to town with this because you will lift up that. You'll lift the paint. Yeah. So just be patient, and you'll get it. It's light hand. It's going on just fine. But I know that if a lot of people think it takes a ton of pressure to make these come off, it does not. So
It's going to be pretty.
it is. This one's coming off real nice. So I usually just start at one corner and take my time and work across. And with one hand, I hold the carrier paper, and then a 45-degree angle with the stick with the other. Right where the carrier paper's lifting is where I keep my stick rubbing on that seam. And I need stuff like this in my booth. I'm short on these kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's a nice display if you are, if you do sell these, to show people the transfers, you know, an example. I have a large suitcase that's like this one, similar. And I am going to, I think maybe Christine, I don't know if you're still on here, but I think maybe you did that. Did you make a table out of the suitcase? That's my plan. A long time ago actually, I already ordered the legs on Amazon. They're like the hairpin metal, hairpin style. They just good. And then I'm going to come up with a way to make sure those are secure to the bottom and down through the suitcase and make a table out of it. And as you are, I'm trying to take my time because of the fresh paint, but as you're pulling it up, if you see any little specks of transfer that are left, you can just lay it back down and rub that spot. It should come up. Almost there. Come on, little leaf. There we go. All right. So, nice. Mom, will you give me a little piece of torn up t-shirt from the little pile over there? We might need to cut up some more soon. But so then I just burnish it.
Little,
it doesn't have to be little. I can cut that actually. We love using Dad's old t-shirts. So we're going to burnish it just a little bit, just carefully rubbing it, making sure everything is down that needs to be down. And then I will show you guys a close-up. This would be pretty with a little bit of dark wax on at the end too. Gorgeous. So we're going to continue that with some more flowers and some vines. I think that's going to be beautiful. You could do also the same thing, that idea where you took some text stamps before and then put the transfers over them. But so we will continue with the flowers and seal it. I'm going to seal it probably, I might go ahead and seal it with the matte Liquid Patina, and then let that dry well, and then test a little spot with some dark wax and see if we want to go that route. But yeah, I think that's going to be really cute. We'll figure out something for the handle. And we will put some pictures, as always, right, on our Facebook page so you guys can see the end result. We'll finish up this. We've got to go find some more patterns, get all those spots filled up. It's going to look cute. MamaBearBlue.com for all the paint and products. I'll be sure to put them in the comment section as direct links, and also the affiliate link for those if they still sell it. It's been a couple years for the X-Acto knife set, but if you're local, be sure to, hey Kelly, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. We had a fun day making over some vintage train cases. We're in process with IOD molds and some simplicity patterns from long ago. The people on them. Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. We will be back next Monday with another Mondays with Mom, and we will see you then. Thanks. Bye.